I cannot stand a liar, especially a little child habitual liar. That is the worst. Have you ever heard the phrase, if you'll lie, you'll cheat. If you'll cheat, you'll steal. If you'll steal, you'll kill. I mean, it just goes down a rabbit hole. You got to stop these little liars cold in their tracks. This video is about what to do when your child is a little liar. Check it out. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lindy and I'm a super mom. Today's topic is kids that lie. Raising little liars. There's nothing cute about a liar. Ugh, it's just annoying and it's very debilitating for the child if their behavior is not checked early and you don't put a halt to it. So I'm going to talk about the top 5 things you can do when your child is a habitual liar. Let me say this too. Kids go through a lying phase, most kids anyway, usually between the ages of 8 and 12 or 13. My kids went through it. I know a ton of kids that have gone through it. If you stop it early, it's not something that sticks with the kid. It's not something that becomes who they are or integrated into their personality. If you ignore it though, that's when you run into trouble. And as they get older and start, in their teens and start going to parties and start having access to cars and whatnot, that's when the lies will really ratchet up. So you got to stop it when it first starts, when they're younger, usually in the late elementary to middle school ages. So tip number 1, when you have caught your child in a lie, you have to sit them down, confront them, look them in the eye, and say, I'm going to give you one opportunity to tell me the truth. And stare at them without blinking for 30 seconds. Let them sit there and squirm and get their life together and tell the truth. If they don't, then you're going to jump straight to the consequences. But initially, give them an opportunity to tell you the truth. Step number 2, ask them if they want to have an easy life or a hard life. Again, easy life or a hard life is your choice. It's kind of like taking the blue pill or the red pill. It's your choice. Which one do you want to do? Again, sit there and stare at them for a good 30 seconds. Let them think about it. While they're thinking about it, let them know. A hard life means you're going to be scrutinizing everything they do, every little thing they do. Your eyes are going to be on them. They're not going to be able to run. They're not going to be able to hide. Nothing. You're going to be completely tuned in to every move they make. So ask them, would you rather do life the easy way or would you rather do life the hard way? It's their choice. Tip number 3, punishment has to come swiftly. When you discover that your child is a little liar, you got to punish them immediately and swiftly. And what I mean by that is that's very individualized by child. I have 3 children and each one of them got punished differently. Now, I didn't believe in spanking, so it was never a physical punishment. I hate violence. I don't like the idea of an adult hitting a child. It just never has sat well with me. I wasn't spanked. I don't think it's necessary. So I'm not talking about spanking. I'm talking about punishment and discipline. What that means for some kids is removing their phone from their possession. It could mean for another kid being on where they can't go out and play with their friends. It may mean for some kids taking away their PlayStation. It could be taking away their books. It really just depends on what your kid is into and what they're super passionate about. Whatever it is, you got to take it away and make it hurt them specifically. So phones have always worked with my 2 daughters. They love their phones. They love to text, all that stuff. It's very common for kids to be attached to their phones. I would take their phones for 10 days, for example, and they couldn't use their phone at all. It would just be in my possession. So they really hated that because their friends kept texting. So I would be reading their text messages or just, in their business the way they don't want me to be in their business. So that was an incentive for them to get it together and stop the lies. That's just was something that worked for them. Now, my son wasn't so much into his phone, but he had a phase at that age where he would go through video games. He loved video games. And that was a very good social outlet for the boys, and he would be able to play video games. And that was a very public thing too, because they would be like, well, how come you're not on the video game? How come we can't see you? How come you're not interacting with us? Because you're on punishment. That's why. You're not into video games right now. So that was something that really hurt him. Okay, let's move on to step number 4. Step number 4 is to educate the child on why lying is bad. There's so many books out there, picture books and older. I'll put a link in my in this video, at the end of the video. There's so many books out there that they can read about lying, honesty, integrity, those sorts of characteristics. Pick a book, any book, and make it age appropriate and have them read that book, number 1. And number 2, make them write longhand, which they hate because everything's on the computer now. Make them write out 100 times on single-spaced, college-ruled paper, legibly, I will not lie again, or something like, I'm sorry for lying. Make it hurt. Make it hurt them to have to do something to repent for their lies. Kids lying, that's not cute. It's not good, and it's something you have to just tamp down immediately. Okay, the last tip I have for you is, as a parent, and especially as a super parent, you have to sit with your child and have a discussion about why lying is so bad. Kids may think it's innocent. I'm like, oh, I want to see if I can get away with it, or I'm going to just do it so I won't get in trouble for now, short-term thinking. Absolutely not. You need to sit with your child, and I've done this on several occasions, to say, this is not acceptable because lying is not acceptable. This is unacceptable behavior. You have to have integrity. You have to have honesty. Even if it means getting in trouble in the short term, it's going to be 10 times worse in the long term if you don't reel it in and let them know and convince them that this is not a quality trait that they want to possess. Lying is for the birds. Don't let your kids lie. Don't let them get away with it at a little age. You definitely don't want them to be trying to get away with it when they're 16 and above and driving and out in the world. It just is not going to end well. So those are my tips for little liars. You don't want to raise them. You don't want to be around them. So you have the power to nip it in the bud. Good luck implementing my strategies.